Well, hello there, everyone. Happy New Year. Welcome to our first Express Tabata hit circuit for 2022. Can you believe it? I'm so excited that we get to continue with these awesome virtual workouts. We're going to start in just about 2 minutes. I encourage you to make sure you have some water. I'm going back to drinking my water out of a wine glass because I don't know about you, but one of my New Year's resolutions is to enjoy a nice dry January. What a joy. Um, Today's workout is going to be lower body focused. Personally, I hurt my shoulder a little, but also just thinking about all the people who are still working on getting those booster shots, being mindful, being safe for yourself, and that you might have a little bit of a dead arm. Maybe you're outside shoveling the snow or raking the leaves, and your upper body is just exhausted, but you need to get some movement. So, we're going to do that together today with a great 30-minute quick Tabata hit circuit that barely involves your upper body. If you have a weight, we're going to use just one weight. Um, I'm going to take it really easy for myself because, like I said, my shoulder's hurting, and I'm just going to demo everything with this 5 pound weight. But if you have something a little bit heavier that you can challenge yourself with, please bring that slightly heavier weight. I do have a slightly heavier weight nearby for when I think it's appropriate. I want you to just be smart for your body today, especially depending on if you are just starting to work out. Be careful, be mindful. If you've been working out for a while, you know yourself, you know that you got to challenge yourself to feel the change. So pick that weight or just stick with the movement that's challenging for you. All right, we're going to start in just 1 minute because I just want to make sure everything is working on the interweb. I see myself. Good stuff, everyone. It is snowing like crazy here in our nation's capital, Washington, D.C. today. Let's work out. Oops. Okay, yeah, I meant to set that timer. All right, so give yourself a couple lateral side to side step taps. Add in a couple shoulder rolls, maybe some sexy individual shoulder rolls, or just sticking with both at the same time. Just working to gently loosen up that upper body. Start to draw your core in, maybe take some slightly larger or maybe even a little bit faster of a step here. Awesome. Make sure you're breathing throughout everything that we do today. Let your breath be your guide. Okay, let's go ahead and switch it up to some hamstring curls. We're going to add in a little bit of upper body, so working to keep that chest lifted. Squeeze your shoulder blades together, drive those elbows behind you, knees pointing down towards the floor so you can really start to feel those quads warming up as you work to kick that heel towards your glute. Right ankle buck, 4 more on each side. 3, 2, 1. Awesome. Let those feet down and just start to give me some little kicks towards the front. Y'all, I apologize if Uncle Buck is a little more whiny today than usual. My little man has had a real hard week. We spent all day New Year's Eve at the vet ER. And if you see his face, he's got a little bit of elephantitis going on. I don't know what's happening, but I love him more than life, right, Uncle Buck? Awesome. Let's switch to a little back kick. So I want you to think about if you were, using your heel to just gently kick a door shut. So we're still keeping that chest nice and lifted, heart open. You're leaving the room, my buddy. Just don't poop on the floor like you did last week, okay? Great. Last 4 on each side. 3, 2, 1. Nice work. All right, give me some gentle hip circles. Keep it going in the same direction. If you've got some music going that you're listening to during this workout, you can always find the beats. Ooh, let's go ahead, change direction of those hip circles. Nice. Open those legs nice and wide. We're just gonna do a little alternating lunge from one side to the other, just getting you warmed up for the moves that you saw that were coming up today. And an alternating side lunge is one of them. As you're doing these side lunges, I want you to really focus on what's happening with your feet. So as you shift the weight from side to side, make sure that you are not rolling up to allow that edge of your foot to come off of the floor. So really grounding down through that pinky side toe. Awesome. Turn those heels in just a little bit. We'll enjoy a sumo squat here. Give me 10 air squats. 10, press through those heels. 9, keeping that chest up. Maybe you bring your elbows a little closer towards those thighs, or maybe you're keeping your little warm-up squat really little. Oh, shoulder, I'm sorry. We got 4 more. 3, 2, 1. Awesome. I want you to jog in place, or maybe just march it out if you need something a little bit less intense. Let me show you what's coming up for move number 1 of the day. All right, so option to get started using your weight. We're going to go for an alternating side leg lunge. Now, if you don't want to use your weight, you're just going to step out to the side, bend one knee, maybe just reach your hand or place your hand on your thigh, stand back up, step to the other side, and once again, be thinking about having that foot planted. Shoulder. If you're going to use a weight, I'm not going to use a weight because I'm being smart for my body today, but that doesn't mean that you can't. You're going to step to the side, still working to keep that chest up. Glutes go back behind you as you work to tap it down towards the floor. Stand all the way up and then tap it to the side. Now, if balance is a challenge, just keep your feet separate. And just like we did in the warm up, you can go from one move to the other. All right, so I'm going to put the weight down just to be smart for myself today. I'll start off with that easier move in case you need it demoed. And we're going to begin in 3, 2, 1. So starting in the easier move, I'm keeping my feet planted on the floor and I'm just shifting the weight from side to side. I'll even turn gently towards the side so you can see how I'm really working to drive those glutes behind me so that my knee doesn't go past my toe very much. Maybe it approaches the toe. Take a break. Awesome. That was round number 1. Shake it off, maybe dance in between. You're ready for round number 2? Let's see if we can make it a little bit more challenging. So this time, stepping out, sending those hips back, and then pulling feet together. Step out, send back, pull it in together. Once again, focusing on pressing through your heels. You got a lot of weight towards the back of your foot as opposed to in the ball of your foot. And remember, you're either tapping, take a break, tapping that weight down towards the floor, or maybe you've got no weights today, and that's okay too. 2 rounds down, 6 to go. Here we go. So step it out, step it in, out and in. One thing I am working on each time is really focusing on keeping that openness, the broadness of the chest. So making sure that shoulders aren't rounding in and collapsing forward the way that they might while you're typing. So take a break. Keep rolling them down and back and lifting up that chest, even if you have a weight in your hands. Ready? Begin. So if this is feeling really easy for you and you need a little extra challenge, maybe come up onto your toes between each little side lunge to get your calves involved in the party. And if you're already struggling with your balance, take a break. Just stepping side to side. You don't need to worry about that. Are you starting to feel a little warm? I hope so. Ready? Begin. We're more than halfway through. Can you drive those hips back a little bit more? Can you open your feet perhaps a little bit wider, taking a wider step, maybe adding in that calf raise, maybe you're adding in a jump at the center. Take a break. It's a quick little workout here, 20 seconds of work, 10 seconds of rest. After we finish this, we're going to get right down on the floor for an ab focused move. It's starting to feel a little bit more warm. So I'm expanding the range of motion and reaching one hand down towards the floor. Even without those weights, it's just going to get a little bit deeper into that side lunge. Feel a little bit more stretch on the inner thighs. Take a break. Even in the glutes, the hamstrings. Just moving with control. 3, 2, 1. Less than a minute to go. Add that calf raise back in. Or remember, you can add in a jump at the center. Good. Are you still working to press the outer edge of that pinky toe towards the floor as you step out with your straightened leg? Take a break. I bet you are. Last one, last one. Then we get to come on down to our mats, lift that chest and begin. So you're moving as fast with control as your body lets you go today. We're going to challenge that pace. We're going to find a couple more long holds as we come down to the floor right now for our next move. Grab that quick sip of water if you need it, and then meet me down on the mat. I'll turn this way so you don't have to look at the collage of pain relieving patches on my back. Okay, so next up, we're going to go for a penguin ankle tap. What's happening, Matt? All right, so lowering yourself down onto your back, you get to take a nice bend of your knees and firmly plant your feet to the floor, drawing that belly in and pressing your lower back down. You're going to lift yourself up and reach towards one ankle and reach towards the other. If you want, you can even hold some light weights in your hand or even pass a weight from hand to hand. I like to do this one if I'm holding weights with my palms facing up towards the ceiling. And you're going to really use that exhale to decrease that space between your lower rib and your hips. So let's get started with round one. We're just going to tap towards each ankle and really use our breath in 3, 2, 1, begin. So as you lift those shoulders up off of the mat, your chin is gently tucked towards your chest. So you're not stretching your chin up towards the ceiling. If you're feeling any pain in your neck, I want you to draw your core in a little bit tighter and make sure that you're lifting those shoulders off of the mat and keeping your head in line. Take a break. All right, we're going to make it a little bit more challenging. We're going to take a teeny little pulse on each reach this next time around. You ready? So lift up, exhale, hold, back to center, exhale, hold, back to center. So I'm adding in a second breath to really extend that reach, to really work into those obliques here. Take a break. I promise you, if you have those light weights in your hands, that gets a lot more challenging as we move through. So now let's come to that faster move, just alternating each time. Lift yourself up. Fred, you're looking at me like you think I'm crazy. Did I look at you like you were crazy when I found you hiding in a box this morning? I did not. So stop staring at me, Swan. Oh, take a break. Maybe you draw your knees in towards your chest. Plant them back down. Get ready for that hold. And begin. So we're really working to decrease that space between our lower rib and our hip. Oh, and reach towards those heels. Maybe even gently past them. Oh, take a break. We're halfway through, y'all. Begin. Back to those slightly faster. And if you find that you need to stop between each one, or you're moving a little bit slower than me, that's okay. Oh, take a break. As long as you're still going, as long as you're finding a challenge, that's what matters. Ready for that extra hold? Extend those hands. Here we go. I am starting to feel the burn. Oh, take a break. I hope that you are too. Feeling it in those upper abs and in the sides. We got one more time of each, fast and slow. Here we go. I don't think you guys can see her, but Fred is truly just staring at me like, take a break. Oh, why are you doing that torturous thing to yourself? It's because I'm vain, Fred, and it feels good to work out. Last time. Why is it that you have joined us here today? What is it that makes you want to get up away from your chair and find some movement? Are you moving because you're trying to improve your physical form? Are you here for your mental health? It's a little bit of both. Oh, we made it. I know for me, that movement really does feel like medicine. Let's just breathe it out here on the floor for this 10-second break. And guess what? We get to make our way back to our feet again. Yay! Back to our feet. Okay. Grab a quick sip of water if you want. Next up, we're going to do squats, and you have the option to use the weights. I will demo with the weights, and then I will not use the weights because my shoulder hurts. And we're focusing on the lower body today anyway. All right. So starting off, I have the weight in my hand like a goblet, like whatever the finest thing that you care for is. We're not going to spill our precious life's energy goblet here. I got my feet out nice and wide, a little wider than shoulders width distance apart, and my toes are pointing out, and my knees are going to go in the same direction of those toes. So still with those shoulders rolled down and back, squeeze together, chest lifted. I'm going to come down to a squat. As I lift up again, lower the weight down, and this time weight taps closer towards the floor, and then back up to the goblet squat. Obviously, the heavier weight that you're using is going to make this a little bit more challenge. It's going to challenge your stability and your balance a little bit, but you can get the same great move. We can add in just a pulse if you're not going to be using the weight. All right, so I'm really trying to be smart for my body. I'm going to switch to an even lighter weight just to give a little demo. This move starts in 3, 2, 1, begin. So feet nice and wide, hands right here at your chest, squat down. Arms come down, squat down. Did you notice that I didn't lower my chest towards the floor? So still working to keep that chest lifted. Ooh, I feel my belly starting to stimulate here too. And take a break. If you're going for a smaller squat, if that's what works for your body today, that's okay. In fact, if squats are a challenge, you can even do this same move close to a chair. Pardon all my patches. Just squatting down, lift up, arms come down, squat down, lift up. You're getting the same action. You're pressing through your heels to find that standing, but maybe you gently increase that range of motion. Y'all, I just noticed a sweat spot on the floor. Ooh, from those ab moves, of course, I stood right in it. Take a break. All right, so I'm going to put the weight down because I don't want to hurt myself. I want to work out with y'all again on Wednesday. Here we go. So squat and squat. So I'm still just changing my arms, but finding that nice deep squat. You're lifting up, pressing through those heels, a little squeeze of those glutes, a little drive of the hip at the top as well. What happened with those shoulders? Did yours start to round forward? Mine did. Lift that chest up. Get ready. Here we go. Now, if you really need to, you can even have your hands at your waist the whole time and just work on getting this nice deep squat. I like to have my hands at my chest because that's another thing that encourages me to keep it up. Keep it up. And just changing those arms a little encourages me to take a break. No, it doesn't encourage me to take a break. It encourages me to try and go a little bit lower while my hands reach towards the floor. We are halfway. Here we go. If you want, you can even add in a pulse. Pulse, pulse, lift. So a little controlled bounce, lift and lower at the bottom. Ooh, work those quads a little bit more. Take a break. Shake it out. Give myself some nice hip circles because my hips are feeling a little tired. 3, 2, 1. Keep that chest lifted. Are you still breathing? I'm sure you can hear my delightful heavy breaths. Heavy breathing. Getting some good sweat in. Take a break on this snow day. I hope you're starting to drip a little bit as well. 2, 1. Here we go. Squat. So I'm still adding this little pulse in at the bottom, but if that doesn't work for you, you can stick with just the single squat and lift. Just keep going. Even if you're moving a little bit slower, it's okay. Take a break. We're almost there. We're going to hit the floor again after this move for a little bit more ab focused work. Here we go. This is our last time through. We're warming up those legs because we're going to use them in that next ab move as well. Are you still pressing through your heels? Make sure that as you're starting to get tired, you don't let the weight creep into the balls of your feet. Oh my gosh, we made it. Let's come on down towards the floor because we're going to finish class low on the mat today. All right, so next up, you've got a couple different options for this next move. If you are a true beginner, sorry, shoulder, you might find that this next one is a little bit easier if you bend your elbows and keep your elbows and forearms on the floor. We're going to kick one leg forward, bring it back into about tabletop, kick the other leg forward, and then do both at the same time. Now that doesn't feel too great on my shoulder, so I'm going to come all the way down to the ground, which is where you can join me if you're looking for something a little bit more challenging. And we're just going to do the same thing. So either thumbs under your bum for a little bit of support or arms out towards the side. We're going to extend one leg, the other leg, and then both legs. Bringing those heels as close towards the floor as feels good for you. Or just keeping those heels in line with your knees can be just as challenging. I sort of regret adding this move in. We start in 3, 2, 1, begin. All right. So you can keep your head and neck relaxed down on the floor, or you can work to lift those shoulders up off of the mat with a slight little tuck of your chin to your chest. So I'm still really using my breath. Did you hear it? Take a break. Windshield wipe your knees if you need to. All right, you ready? Back into that tabletop. One leg extends, the other leg extends, both legs extend. One, the other, both. Can you switch legs that you're leading with? So getting a little bit of a brain challenge in here as well. And if you're feeling any sort of, take a break, pain in your neck, draw your core in a little bit more. I know you can do it. Or bring your head back down towards the floor. Begin, and you can always kick a little bit more up towards the ceiling as you just work on building that ab strength. The more that you kick in a diagonal, the slightly less challenging this move is going to be. Oh, take a break. Sweat, 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 sweating on the floor. Ready for halfway? Here it is right here. This is our halfway through. Still really making the movement powered by breath. So make sure you're not holding your breath. Oof, are your quads feeling this one? Take a break. My quads are feeling this one with those pointed toes. Think about really trying to reach for that wall away from you, like you're going to touch it. Here we go. So like you're touching that wall, like it's so close. You just need to find a little extra reach. And if you keep your knees not quite over your hips, you're getting a constant challenge to those abs. So the more you draw your knees in towards your chest, the slightly, take a break, easier this move's going to be. Do you like how I waited till halfway to tell you that? I liked that I waited. Hopefully that way you challenge yourself a little bit more. Here we go. So if you need to take it easier on yourself towards the end, stack those knees right on top of your hips and kick towards the diagonal. And if you're ready for a little extra challenge, keep those knees just in front of your hips so that those abs stay a little bit more fired up. Oh, quads. Oh, take a break. Take a break. We only have one more move to go after this. Can you believe it? Here we go. We are really powering through our first workout together of 2022. I'm so proud of you for coming, for making it work. I think that's one of the most important things, take a break, of this year is making it work for you. So just because maybe your upper body is not ready to join the party, begin. We can still get that great lower body work in and completely relax that upper body. I think this is our last time through. Amazing. Oh, we made it. All right, we're rolling over. We're rolling over and we're going to come into a kneeling position because next up is one of my favorites. We got kneeling hip thrusters. Now, if for some reason kneeling is not for you, you can always just lay on your back for this next one and enjoy a nice little glute bridge. The closer that your heels are towards your glutes, the more that you'll work specifically the glutes. The further that your heels are from the central line of your body, the more that you focus a little bit on those hamstrings as well. But for everyone who can enjoy some kneeling, we're going to come into a kneeling position. And if you want, you can bring a weight, you can hold it goblet style, just like we did for those squats. Once again, I'm not going to hold the weight. I'm just trying to be mindful of the fact that I hurt myself. Yay. All right. So the move itself is just going to be lifting up and lowering down, but we're going to change the pace that we're lifting and lowering because why wouldn't we? All right, let's get started, starting with just an even pace up and down for our first two rounds. You ready? So if you have a weight at your chest, you're still lifting that chest up. So make sure those shoulders are rolled down and back. Your belly is pulled in, either hands at your heart or hands at your hips, hands at my heart. Feel best. Here we go. So up and down. Up for two, down for two. Squeezing those glutes and pushing those hips gently forward at the top. I got my toes right towards each other at the back so that I'm a nice stable base and there's a little extra squeeze of those glutes and thrust of the hip forward. I'll turn to the side so you can see what I'm talking about. Take a break. We're about to start round two. Right, Fred? Here we go. So down for two, up for two. Down for two, up for two. Really squeezing, pressing, like you're trying to press your pubic mound towards the wall in front of you. And holding onto a weight, take a break. It's just going to make this more challenging. Whether you're holding onto a weight goblet style, or maybe you have a weight right here at your hip creases. Let's change the pace. So we're going to go up for three, 2, 1, down for 1, up for 3, 2, 1, lower, 3, 2, 1, lower. Keep that same pace. So you're just moving a little slower as we climb that mountain, and then with control coming down. Let's keep that same pacing for round 4. You ready for it? Me too. Here we go. Up for 3, 2, 1. So I'm really pressing my shins, those knees into the floor. And at the top, extra little squeeze. Think about trying to like hold a pencil and someone's trying to take the pencil away. Oh, but no, you can't have the pencil. I'm squeezing it. Also, if you're squeezing a pencil between your butt, I don't want your pencil. You keep squeezing it. Let's change the pace again. So up for 1, down for 3, lift that chest and begin. Up, down, 2, 3. Up, down, 2, 3. Up, down, 2, 3. So still that squeeze and thrust at the very top. Still using that breath. Oh, take a break. Oh, feeling tired here. Same pacing one more time. Up 1, down for 3. Up 1, 2, 3, 4. Up 1, down 2, 3, 4. Keep it up. All right. So we've gone through 3 different paces right here. We've kept things at the same pace. We went up, take a break, slower than we went down. We went up faster than we went down. We got 2 more rounds. Go at whatever was the most challenging for you. For me, I think it was this slow descent back down. So maybe you even exaggerate and go even slower this second time around. Oh my gosh, the burning in my quads right now. Oh, take a break. We got one more time through, then we're going to stretch it out. Awesome. Last time. You're going at whichever one of these paces you wanted to do. I'm sticking with that fast up, slow down. Oh, we made it, everyone. Let's come on into tabletop. Come on into tabletop. Give yourself a couple cat cows. Really take some relaxation through that upper body. We got into those obliques today as well. So think about not just flexing and then extending through your spine, but gently looking over your shoulder. Oh, wow. That feels so good. You can check out looking over your shoulder in cat. You can check out looking over your shoulder in cow. Oh my gosh. I can't believe it, but we've already hit all of our time for today. I encourage you to stick around for an extra second or two. Let's get a nice little stretch in. Let's start all the way down with those ankles. So coming back into that kneeling position, just lifting one knee up and then the other. Great work. And then we'll come back into kneeling. Go ahead, bring one foot forward. So just in kind of a modified lunge, you can walk that leg forward as you need to. Press that back knee down towards the floor. Get a nice stretch into this quad, a little in this back leg, glute, and the hip flexor as well. If you want, you can even take a nice little spine twist there. Hi. Hi, everybody. All right, gently untwist if you added that option. Let's switch to the other side. So I just have both my legs at 90-90. I gently wiggle the front foot forward, pressing that back knee down towards the floor. Find that nice squeeze in the glute. Find that opening of this hip. Ooh, find a nice little stretch on that quad as well. Awesome. Let's make our way to standing. Take your time. We'll take another big quad stretch at the top because I know mine are pretty tired. So balance on one leg, pick the other foot up. Go ahead, bring your 2 knees together, 2 knees in one line, 2 hips in one line, 2 shoulders in one line. Find some length, stretch up through the crown of your head. Let's get that hip flexor opening as well. So once you've got those 2 knees in one line, see if you can stagger those knees a little bit. So your bent knee gently points behind you. You'll feel that stretch a little bit more in your quad as you also continue to open that hip. So squeeze your glutes, hips are pressing forward, chest is lifted, and carefully change. Come to the other side. Now, if you're having trouble holding onto your foot, you can even use a chair or a table. I'm using the edge of my couch, putting the top of the foot on the couch. I'm just going to point that knee down towards the floor, take a slight bend in my standing leg. So I'm still feeling that same amazing stretch that we felt with a little bit less balance going. Still pointing that knee down and back and lifting up through the chest for 3, 2, 1. Awesome. Stand all the way up. Give yourself some gentle kicks forward. Awesome. Let's give ourselves a couple just hip openers right here, as we did really do some great work for the lower body. I thank y'all so much for coming and joining me today. If you have any questions or concerns about anything that I said or we did, please reach out, leave a comment, let me know. And I will be back on Wednesday for an awesome core and a stretch class. Thank you guys so much for coming and joining me. Hope you had a wonderful start to your new year. Can't wait to meet all of our goals together in 2022.